Today I fucked up by calling a patient diabetes. Fake names for anonymity. I'm a 25 years old dental assistant. My usual routine for getting patients from the waiting room to the dental chair goes as follows. 1. Read the patient's name. 2. Read their medical history and circle anything they marked down so I can easily enter it later. 3. Call the patient's name and walk them back to the room. Super simple, right? So as I'm doing my usual thing, I see the patient marked diabetes on their medical history. I circle it and walk around the front desk to call his name. Instead of saying Marcus, I say diabetes, loudly and confidently before my heart sinks to the floor. My face turned bright red. I looked over at the receptionist, who looked confused, and put my face in my hands before turning around. I didn't even correct myself. Everyone in the waiting room looked so confused. I literally didn't know what to do. So I went back to our assistant office and told the other assistant what happened with tears of embarrassment in my eyes. She thought it was hilarious, and after the embarrassment has worn off a little, it kinda was, but it was also a huge HIPAA violation. If I'd called his name after shouting what was on his medical history, I feel like it would have just made things worse. Eventually the other assistant agreed to seat my patient for me, so it was less obvious. I told my boss about it later, and she wasn't as amused as the assistant. She told me to be more careful with patient information. I think this might be one of those things that keeps me up at night for years. Cringe to death. Too long did not read. I accidentally called my patient diabetes instead of their name after reading their medical history. My boss wasn't amused, but my coworkers were. No major consequences, just embarrassment. Marcus, diabetes guy, time for your checkup. How's the gingivitis treating you? Marcus? You here? I have T1 diabetes, and I'd have laughed my ass off if it happened to me. Oh my gosh. I laughed out loud at this. I think you played it off by not calling the patient's name afterwards. Shit happens, you're only human. I reckon you handled it perfectly. Not giving the connecting information straight away was very well handled. But also LOL. You should know it's actually HIPAA, not HIPAA. Poor OL diabetes. Bet he inherited his Marcus from his parents. Today I fucked up by trying to impress my coworkers with homemade lunch. So Eve been bringing my lunch to work. Usually just basic stuff like sandwiches or leftovers, but this time I decided to get fancy because there's this girl in accounting I wanted to talk to, and she's always in the break room around noon. I made this salmon dish that looked amazing. Like restaurant quality stuff with this lemon butter sauce. Put it in a nice glass container and everything. I had this whole elaborate plan where while we were talking about the food ID, casually invite her to this nice Italian place downtown. I even have some money set aside that I wanted to spend on a proper date with her, like somewhere actually good, not just Chipotle or whatever. Get to work and put it in the communal fridge. Lunchtime comes around and I heat it up in the microwave. The smell fills the entire floor within seconds. Not like a good smell either, like overwhelming fishy smell that made people start complaining immediately. But I already committed, so I took it to the break room where accounting girl was sitting with like 4 other people. I sit down trying to act casual and take a bite. Literally the moment I do, I feel something crunchy. Turns out I didn't debone the salmon properly, and there were these tiny bones throughout the whole thing. I tried to be subtle and spit it into a napkin, but I started choking a little bit, and everyone noticed. Accounting girl asked if I was okay, and I tried to say yes, but another bone got stuck in my throat. Started coughing harder. She had to come over and pat my back while everyone watched. The smell was still destroying the room, and someone opened a window, even though it's like 40 degrees outside. Finally got the bone out, but my eyes were watering, and my face was red. I just grabbed my container and left. Spent the rest of lunch in my car. Then HR sent out an email later asking people to be mindful of strong-smelling foods in shared spaces. Pretty sure my chances with accounting girl are dead, and now I'm known as the fish guy. That money I wanted to spend the date is just gonna sit there mocking me. Too long did not read. Brought fancy salmon to impress a girl at work, filled the office with terrible smell, choked on a bone in front of everyone, got a passive-aggressive email from HR. My elaborate dinner date plan died before it even started. That's like Office 101. Don't bring fish for lunch, and definitely don't heat it up in the microwave. I refuse to believe anyone doesn't know that no microwaving fish is like the #1 rule in any office, and has been for 30 years. I got to salmon and couldn't keep reading. Are you dumb? Work and fish do not mix ever. Fish in a break room microwave? Shiite. You should have burned a bag of popcorn in there too, while you were at it. LOL, this guy posts in today I fucked up, and everyone tells him he fucked up. Well, you got her attention, and she even patted your back. Mission accomplished. /S. I'm really not sure why bringing fish in was much of a flex, let alone necessary, as an icebreaker. But you certainly made an impression. Today I fucked up by telling my dad not to send me Bible verses. Hi, new person here. IF25. Understand if thinking on this now makes me an AH, but I wanted to get this off my chest. For years my dad would send me good morning texts every morning, but back in late September he started sending me Bible verses. I asked him to stop on October 1st because I am not religious in any way, shape, or form. He said he'd respect my wishes, but he won't stop praying for me. He's a religious guy, but growing up I've never seen him go to church. This only lasted a week, and on October 8th he sends me a Bible verse along with a good morning text. I told him off, saying I already asked him once, and to please not make me ask him to stop again. He hasn't texted me good morning since. Last thing we said to each other was wishing each other a Merry Christmas. Too long, did not read. Today I fucked up by telling my dad not to send me Bible verses. I mean, if you ask someone to stop doing something, and they proceed to keep doing it, would you expect the person to be upset? Hi Dad. Happy New Year. You used to send me good morning texts every day, and I really enjoyed those and miss them. They were a highlight of my morning. Although I asked you to stop sending me Bible verses, I did not mean for the good morning texts to stop too. If you're open to starting that up again, I'd love to start the new year off with good morning texts. Love, your daughter. As a father of 2 girls, I'd understand and happily oblige. Hope he can do the same. People think religion and politics is some sort of free ticket to cross people's bounties for some reason. Send him Bible verses back, like the one where Peter says that good Christians are very private in their faith and to doubt people who shout it from the rooftops. Def not an asshole, and didn't fuck up either. You have a right to request boundaries if other people cannot or will not respect them. Then that is a reflection on who they are as a person, not on who you are. Christian men love being victims. You're probably better off. Happy New Year.